get a very slow reaction with this turpenoid in this clay here, which is good. That's why I like it. I kind of ran out here. Where did we go? I'm going to fill her up. These are my temporary containers for my solvents. They come in half-gallon or gallon containers, and I just transfer them over to smaller holding containers. And this turpenoid you could purchase at a art supply store. Your Home Depot, Lowe's, those home building stores do not carry it. Though this mineral spirits, which is actually a paint thinner, they do carry it at Home Depot. It's pretty inexpensive, and that does also work with this clay. I've tried it before, and I just haven't really decided which I like best, the mineral spirits or this here. But since I have this, I might as well use it. This tends to probably seems to be a little stronger than the mineral spirits. But both have given me good results so far. But when I use this turpentine, that is, oh god, it'll burn out your brains. But just by the name given to this thing, turpenoid, the first part of it, turpin, so it tells me it has something to do with turpentine, but it just does not smell as bad, or it seems to have somewhat of an odorless smell to it. Let's see, let me adjust the camera. And this does not disturb your texture that badly. And again, in case it doesn't show up on this video, the purpose of applying this wash to it is to try to get everything uniform, blend everything together. Some folks this will be their last step. They apply this here to get the texture somewhat smooth, and they work this back and forth until they're happy with the piece. I go the extra step, and oops, there goes my brush. Not good. Incidentally hit my pants. Anyhow, I will prep the surface with this here, come back after it dries with one of the dental tools and apply more texture to it. And I will probably come back, apply more of this solvent to it after I've applied the texture, and probably redo that process 2 or 3 times until I'm satisfied with it. There's a lot of artists that don't like taking their pieces to the next step. For one, it's probably not their style. 2, they don't know how to get it to the next step. Some don't even like putting too much detail on it. It's just a matter of taste. perhaps your client is not looking for all that detail. It is a challenge trying to go back and applying so much detail. Sometimes you don't know when to stop. And sometimes it makes sense for somebody to come around and say, okay, enough's enough. Stop. It's done. It's finished. That's where my wife comes in. She'll usually stop me. Sometimes I'm not happy with my work. I just don't quite see it being finished. And sometimes you need an outsider to come in and tell you you're done. Your work is complete. Leave it alone. Any more you're going to ruin it, which is true sometimes. I used to think those that made coins and they put all that detail into that small little coin figure, I said, wow, that is amazing. But after watching the Discovery Channel and those just how to learn, anyhow, those channels you see on the Science Channel, and they show you how they actually create certain products. Well, when they make the coins, they start off with maybe an 8-inch, 12-inch diameter surface. They sculpt it, create a plaster positive, and once in the plaster stage, they add more detail to it and refine it. Then they take that piece and make a mold, and preferably sometimes a resin mold, then apply to these machines that basically scribe the entire piece. And as it's doing that, it's more like a CNC machine, but a manual one. And the actual other end of it, it's actually creating your die, and it's placing the actual carving on a smaller piece of metal. So if you had a piece that had a lot of detail, by shrinking it by that much, probably 1/12 of the actual size, you're super making that piece a lot more fine and making it look like it has super detail, when in fact the original piece probably did not have that much detail to it. Anyhow, that was pretty impressive watching that on TV. And right now, by working on this piece here, I can already see sections of it that I might have to rework. Right here, the rib area, it does not seem to be correct. There's too much of a heavy mass right in this area. I need to follow the pattern of the ribs. I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but the background, that's where I have my model skeleton. It'll start off here and work its way, coming this way. And you have smaller ribs out here. The ribs will probably end about such. And I'm not quite happy with the form I have right now. It looks too flat right here. But that might be correct. I'm not sure, but I'll let the breeders look at it and let them give me their input. I may just have to fill in this section here or trim this section slightly. Kind of streamline it a little more.